Okay, good morning. Market update, August 7th. So last week was a crazy one. We had a big break in the rates, big break in the market, ton of stuff going on. Some long-term trend lines we've had finally kind of, broke down. Um, and now we're at a big turning point in a wait and see type of scenario. So for anyone who follows, we had, previously we had these trend lines coming up this way that we finally broke, and then said, all right, we're kind of in a downturn for a little bit, and then we had this one here, which was, for the last few weeks, just kind of up down, and then it just collapsed through that line. So I've cleared them out because now I just have just a much cleaner chart to work with, because those, once they break, they're no longer relevant. So we're at the point we were at the beginning of the year when we got that initial kick of rates settled down. People like, hey, I think we're done with inflation. And then from there it turned, and we went on a run for 6 months straight, kind of back up with some bounces along the way. Now we've had a huge setback where we broke through that line. And what always happens with this, same thing like the stock market, big down day or big couple of down days is always followed by a couple of snaps up. The difference is it going to be, how far we get, right? Because if you expect a snap back up anyway, the market gets too messed up when you do like too quick of a move like that, right? So here's where we're at. That's where we broke through. This is where we were headed for a while. We broke through this. So this snap is going to be very important. If we clear this line here, we still have a lot of heavy stuff overhead, which is why I think we're leaning in the down direction for future. It's not going to this is bad for the market just as bad as this is, because straight up gives people no chance. They're in a loan process and the rates are going sky high on it. And same thing here. You're trying to figure out what's going on now. Rates are dropping quickly. You're locking people, then they're dropping more, and now everyone's like, well, I'm going to wait because I want to see how low they go. So big up and big down is both kind of detrimental. So where we are at this break, this is kind of puts us at almost the 6% mark right around here. We bounce back up and don't make this line, and we don't clear this top, and we tumble back through this line, we will be in mid fives, low fives, by the end of the year, because that's where we'll kind of head somewhere over here. If we snap back hard and end up clearing this line, sorry guys, I'm cheap, I don't pay for the full version. Then we're back into like this bigger range where we could stay between this 4.4, 3.8 number, which again is good. Give the market some time to digest. Long as we know the trend is down, we finally hit that point where bad news is bad news. For the past few months, it's been we get a bad news report, and then the market goes up and treasuries go down because, oh, good, we're going towards a recession, so we know inflation's over. We finally hit that inflection point where, okay, we might be going towards a recession, or we need to cut the rates. So now bad news is bad news, which is more in line with a normal market. So here it's going to be interesting to see if we can come back up and tap on this 417. And then collapse back through. It's just going to be game on. I mean, my phone's already been going crazy from the weekend, with the rates, trying to renegotiate some people if we could. Mostly everyone was locked and closed because, we try to lock in on these dips anyway. So the last bunch of people we locked in were just about over here anyway. And a lot of times the rates don't move exactly with this. It's more when there's a big shock to the market or a surprise where nobody was ready for. That's when all the repricing happens. So we're in a spot. It's a wait and see scenario. If you're in a loan process and we're not closing within 2 weeks, we lock. If we were closing within 2 weeks, we lock over here. Like that was it. We got the lowest we can possibly get. Now it's see where we end up. I don't think we're going to break up higher. I think this is just going to tail off. What we've been feeling in the economy is now just starting to come out in the numbers. And what that usually means is, if you're starting to see it now, just wait till 6 months from now, because the data is always lagged. So if they're starting to see a slowdown now, the slowdown's already here. We're already in it. So we'll see, how far this goes and how far we break down. But right now, if you're looking to buy a house, it's still one of the better times to be doing it, because a lot of people on the sidelines, and a lot of opportunity there. Plus, with all the new realtor, the NAR changes and buyers agents and things like that, there's a lot of opportunity here. So get out there before everybody else, because once this breaks this line over here and we end up, going to the low threes, everyone is going to be back out in the market. I mean, the thing is, everyone who can afford to be back out in the market, because if we're obviously, things are slowing down that much, that means, people are losing jobs or something is going on that's going to limit the pool of buyers. Because if you have the same pool of buyers today and you put the rates down here, we're going back to crazy bidding wars and things over asking. So something's going to equalize in between this and this. Just kind of wait and see. So any questions, reach out. But this was a big one I wanted to share because we've been going at this a little while. So talk soon.